Hi, Steve here with FightNGear.com. I make the FightNGear holsters, and I've promised a video for a while on my top 5 picks for home defense. I decided to do it today. I'm going to run through these. Some of them are a little controversial, especially number 5. I'd appreciate your feedback. Just keep it friendly. And a couple of these are going to be a category specific type deal. A couple of them are going to be specific guns. And anyway, this will be based more on home defense, not on concealed carry like my last video was. Starting number 5, working my way up. This is the Ruger 22 semi-automatic, and this will be one of the controversial ones. A lot of people won't consider a 22 to be adequate for self-defense. I disagree. I think the upsides to this are it's relatively high capacity. If you have an extra mag, it's very fast to load, and it's extremely easy to shoot, especially for someone that doesn't get to practice a lot or is not familiar with guns. It's not an intimidating weapon for the person using it, in that it doesn't have a high muzzle blast or muzzle flash, doesn't have a strong recoil. I believe that 10 rounds of 22 are adequate for self-defense. I believe that most bad guys have a natural reluctance to be shot, and I believe that if you have any gun, you're better off than no gun. That's why I put this in there. I specifically picked the Ruger because of its years of track record of durability, reliability. It's affordable, and I just believe it's the king of the rimfires. That's a personal opinion, but anyway, I've got that in there at number 5. At number 4, this one would be more of a category rather than a specific gun. This is a Smith & Wesson 357. This is a model 686 in 6-inch barrel. I believe that a 357 revolver is a super good home defense gun. Like I say, you give up some in capacity, you gain it back in stopping power. Obviously, again, it's a little bit slow to reload compared to the semi-automatics. However, it's extremely easy to shoot. The 6-inch barrel helps with the recoil. If you're recoil sensitive, you can shoot some of the self-defense 38s through it, which are more than adequate for stopping power and a lot more controllable. If you're very familiar and used to the high-powered loads, you can put 357 full power hollow points in it. That's at the top of the man-stopping chart. I would not recommend using a non-expanding ammo because of the over-penetration issues, but I think this is just a great gun, and it's going to be super reliable and super easy to operate if you wake up and you're somewhat disoriented. There are no safeties to manipulate or anything like that. It is a tremendous gun. I've got it in there at a solid number 4. The reason I picked this as a category weapon, if you have a Colt Python, Ruger GP100, Dan Wesson Model 15, any of the premium 357 revolvers, you're going to be fine. I picked the Smith because that's the one that I happen to like, but I believe this is one where any of the premium revolvers will do the job just fine. Moving on up to number 3, I'm moving into the long guns, and that's the AR-15. Again, there's no mag in this. The chamber is clear. This is one of my personal ones. This one is set up right now without a light. It does have an EOTech on it. I've been using it outdoors at the range, so I don't have a light on it. I have another one upstairs. It is set up with a light because I may have to use it at night. It is a hand-operated light that goes on the rail. It is not a four-stock type light or a vertical foregrip type light. It is a light that just goes on the rail and operates with my finger. That's personal preference, what kind of light. But if it's going to be your home defense gun, I think it should have a white light on it. Maybe a laser, but definitely a white light. The upsides to these: tremendous amount of capacity, 30 rounds, tremendous amount of stopping power. It's a rifle cartridge versus a handgun. It's got a tremendous amount more stopping power. The downside to it has a tremendous amount of penetration. I keep Hornady tap hollow points in mine, and I believe that they have less of a problem with it. However, any high-powered rifle is going to have some over-penetration issues. That's going to require you to think long and hard about where you are pointed when you pull that trigger. Also, this has a tremendous amount of muzzle flash and muzzle blast, making it a little less than friendly for an indoor weapon. However, I believe that one of these should be in your home. If we ever get into a looting situation, the society breakdown, no rule of law, shit hits the fan, whatever you want to call it, I believe this would be a great weapon in the situation of looters or some type of rioting. I also think it's a great home defense gun. It just has some drawbacks. A lot of people are putting suppressors on them now. A lot of people keep a set of electronic muffs by their bed. That's just a key factor because, from what I understand, one or two rounds of this discharged in a confined area can cause permanent hearing loss. So that is something to consider, but I still put it in there at number 3. And if it wasn't for the problems with the blast and the flash, I'd have it at the top. Number 2 is the combat or tactical shotgun. This one's a Mossberg SPX. I own a couple of these. I'm a big fan, but if you were an 870 guy and a 1100 guy, I mean any a Mossberg 500 guy, an 835 guy, any premium shotgun set up for home defense, I believe is a great one. I've got it at number 2. The stopping power is unrivaled. This one I believe holds 8. You can ghost load it, I think, get 9 in it, but I don't do that because I'm always worried about reliability. But this one has iron sights, Picatinny rail if I did want to put something on it. There are all kinds of accessories available for it. It has a tactical large bolt. I believe I checked that, but I'll check it again just to make sure. It has the pistol grip type stock, the rubber big butt pad, and it's just an all-around great gun. Again, you got a little over-penetration issue with it. It's also loud. It's not going to have quite the report or the flash of the AR, but it is going to be a little bit unfriendly to shoot. I keep mine with 2 3/4 inch buckshot rather than the Magnum buckshot just for that reason. They're a little bit easier to shoot. I love the SPX. I don't want to have to pump a gun under stress, but if you're a guy that practices a lot with a pump, I'm sure you can work it under stress just as well as I can work this. So again, I believe the tactical shotgun is more of a category, although the Mossberg SPX 930 for me is the ultimate. This is another one that would be good for perimeter defense. I did in one of my videos, I hit a man-sized silhouette at 100 yards with this with a slug and peppered it at 50 yards with buckshot. I mean, if you were in a looting situation, something like that, it would be great if you had to defend against people outside that were attempting to breach your boundaries. I think that this would be great. Plus, it's probably a little more friendly inside than the AR, and you don't give up anything in stopping power. In fact, it could be argued you probably gain some. You do give up quite a bit in capacity, though. And you pick up a lot in recoil over the AR. That brings me to number 1. This is again a category. This is my Smith & Wesson M&P. I'm an M&P fanboy. I own a bunch of them. I also own XDs, Glocks, and Berettas, and SIGs, and a lot of other guns. This is one of my favorite guns. I think one of the best guns ever invented. But again, I'm going with a category here. The category being centerfire, semi-automatic, full-size handgun. I say full-size because you don't need to conceal it in your home, and it's a little easier to control, holds a couple more rounds. 9mm, 40 I think are the 2 best because of the ease and the affordability of the ammo, but 357 SIG, 45 gap, 10mm. I mean, I don't know how critical that is as long as you're comfortable with the caliber, and can afford the ammo. I think that in a shit hit the fan situation, I'd rather be scrounging for 9mm than anything else, and 40 second, but probably 9 first. This particular one is chambered in 40. I also have it 9 compact, 40 compact, 45, 357 SIG. I have several of these. Interestingly enough, I do not own one of these in 22, although I think it's a fine gun, but I do believe in the Ruger as a 22. I have the centerfire full-size semi-automatic as my number 1. I believe that the ultimate, assuming that you can afford it and want a battery of guns, would be the full-size semi-automatic centerfire handgun combined with one of the two long guns, that being a personal preference. At my house, the two that are always loaded are the handgun and the AR. And the reason for that being the AR, I believe, is, like I say, in the situation. I don't think it's going to happen, but it could. Well, it is going to happen at some point, but I mean, I just don't think it's anytime soon. We are going to have some type of a disaster in this country that will bring out some looters. I don't know that they'll get to my little town in Missouri, but I mean, you're better off prepared and never needing your preparation than you are to be in a situation and have never prepared for it. And I keep this, like I say, in the event of some type of rioting or looting, I keep my AR ready to go. I keep my handgun in the instance that somebody gets in my home. I actually pray that nobody does either one. If I hear the glass shatter in the middle of the night, I'm getting my family together in the bedroom, barricading it, calling 911, and hoping that I don't have to confront an intruder in my house. I'd rather he carry out my stereo than later for the ambulance attendants to carry me out while the coroner's signing a death certificate. So, you know, I don't really want to go out and engage in a gunfight. If I have to, I will. You know, that's a personal preference too. It insults a lot of people's pride to think of sitting in their home with a gun while some guy's hauling their property out. Frankly, I don't give a damn about my stereo or my TV, but I do care about my life and the life of my family. I'd rather be barricaded back in the safe room, like I say, with a mattress in front of me and the police on the way. Say what you want about the cops, they earn their money. You know, I understand they can't be everywhere and they can't protect you. That's why I have a gun. But by the same token, that doesn't mean they won't get there and do the best for you that they can. There's a lot of people anymore that have lost faith in our cops. I'm not one of them. I think they're good guys. I mean, they're just nowhere near as many cops as there are crooks. Anyway, thanks a lot. Check out my holsters, FightNGear.com. I sure appreciate you guys watching. I look forward to some feedback on this. Keep it friendly. If you disagree with me, I sure understand. It's America. Thanks a lot. You guys have a good day.